Back from Canada. Got a sinus infection. Sorry about it. We have to talk about Bernie Wrightson because it is August 26th, the day of this filming. And you know what happens when we approach September? You gotta get your Bernie Wrightson.
You gotta get your horror. People are thinking about decorations and they're thinking about comics. Already one of the hottest genres in all of comics.
Number 10 on the list is Secrets of Haunted House, issue number 5. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover from 1975. You may be going, why is this on the list? You can probably find this for like $10 in back issue bins.
Yeah, this is one of those books that could just kind of sneak by in any collection, in any flea market that you find. But if you get this book,
People, if you know about this, you know. High grade copies like just don't exist.
no, they're definitely few and far between and extremely coveted by collectors. And that's just DC horror in general from the Bronze Age.
4 different record-breaking sales in 7 days. Let's just jump into it. 4.5 sold for $165, up 293%. A 7.0 sold for $350. That's up 32%. An 8.0 sold for $500. That's up 27%. And for the first time in comic history, a 9.0, last sold in just December for $600, sold for $675. That's up 13%.
And that's just wild. I mean, listen to those numbers. 7.0, we're talking multiple hundreds of dollars for a book from 1975. That isn't a superhero book.
Well, let me show you another book for you to keep in mind because there's not a whole lot of like keys in this run, but there is another book that you gotta know. If you're looking up Secrets of Haunted House, and that is issue number 44, another classic Bernie Wrightson cover, but also has a fan letter page from Todd McFarlane. What's fun about this fan letter from Todd is it's not just a fan letter. It's him just straight up critiquing another horror book, specifically Ghosts, issue number 103, which is a really cool seance cover. So if you're looking for scary stuff, well, so are a lot of other members, and you may want to just keep an eye on some of these high-grade copies. And how cool would it be to get issue 44 signed by Todd McFarlane?
I think the coolest part would be like his response to seeing it. Like, I haven't seen this book, or nobody ever talks about it. And now he's going to get a flood of them from some people. I mean, there's so many comic books that just have these little fun tidbits historically. Like we always hear about letters from other future to become artists and writers in the hobby. And it's just cool little tidbits to know.
There's so much to know about comic books. Download Geek Collector Comics to learn about them all. Code Tom101. You support the show, but it unlocks a free 2-week subscription of the app. You get access to the Hot 10, the video that we make before we even make it. You could already be ahead of the curve and know what books we're going to talk about and see if any of your books from your PC have moved. Number 9 on the list is New Mutants number 98, the first appearance of Wade Wilson, Deadpool. And I went to Canada Fan Expo. I saw this book at a 9.8 white pager on a few different dealers' walls. And granted, you know, they had it priced in Canadian, but when you do the conversion, consistently being listed on booth walls for $1,400 to $1,600 USD.
That's a lot. That is definitely not what I would think the market is, or something I would want to jump into at that price point right now for this book.
Doesn't it tell you that dealers don't care what the 12-month average is with certain books, that is? Like, this is one of those books that if someone's at a show and they're feeling it and they want a first Deadpool, they're probably going to pay a little bit more than they should.
I think you'd be surprised, actually, especially for our audience, that people want to buy books in person and they will pay more because they've saved money, they saved time, they came to a convention to spend money and buy books, and they just don't like to shop online, and they will spend more. So that's probably what a lot of dealers are riding on for a lot of these books.
Well, what should you be spending for a New Mutants 98? Well, I'll tell you, a sale this last week, 9.8 went for $1,087, and that's 6% above the recent 12-month average. There are members in the last 30 days who have secured this for under $1,000 and as low as like $800. So if you're looking for first Deadpool, and there's a lot of, positive thinking about seeing Deadpool again in the MCU. Ryan Reynolds, posting some Easter eggs, alluding that he's going to come back possibly as early as Avengers Doomsday. Regardless, we know Deadpool is here to stay, but this price being at $1,500 isn't anymore. So try to secure this for around the $1,000 mark, if not below.
I love number 8.
Dude, this is great, dude, because when this book comes up, I officially look at 2 other books every single time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this thing hit the list like 2-3 weeks ago for the first time, and it couldn't help but make a correlation between Special Marvel Edition 15, which is here at number 8.
First Shang-Chi.
First Shang-Chi, Marvel Premiere number 15.
First Iron Fist.
And Iron Fist number 14.
First Sabretooth. For no reason besides it's the coolest of all 3.
Yeah,
It is, though.
It is definitely the coolest, and it's funny how we just tied it all together, and it still is, even this week and probably future weeks to come, but it is interesting how all three are trading. And with this book, we saw a 9.6 sale for $949. That's up 25% for a year-high sale.
There were 2 other year-high sales for this book. So let's take a look at first Iron Fist with Marvel Premiere issue number 15. My jaw hit the floor for a second when I saw 9.8 this last week go for $21.50. That is the cheapest Iron Fist at a 9.8 has sold since, wait for it, 2019. But there's more to the story.
As usual, you have to check the graders notes when you see massive outliers like this.
This is like a $3,000 book. We were talking about how this was selling for more than Shang-Chi. Here are what the graders notes say. Very small crease, right bottom, and front cover breaks color. Very light wear on all corners cover, breaks color. They don't have the best grammar sometimes, but the main point is this is not a great looking 9.8. This is what many would call a soft 9.8.
Almost
a flaccid 9.8.
Not going to hold up a towel 9.8.
Well, let's take a look at the Iron Fist 14 because we were talking about how all 3 of these were around the same price, near $3,000. Last sale, August, $3,250. Sabretooth is performing way stronger than both of these other characters.
And why is that? This is a villain opposed to 2 superheroes who first have their appearances, who've had movies, who've had shows, and this character's dead.
That's true. Well, one thing I was thinking about is like Iron Fist only goes until what, issue 15?
Yeah.
So Sabretooth appears and they already knew that it was going to be canceled by the time that this was coming out, right? So maybe there's a lot less of these than the others. We can check the census count, but we're not going to do it right now because we got to move on to number 7 on the list.
Iron Man and Submariner number 1 from 1968. This predates the big premiere issue for each of these 2 characters that are going to get their own runs here shortly.
Dude, this book is one of those ones that are like, if you know, you know. Premiere issues, I would think, are one of the most surprising books to see on here over the last 5 years that we've been covering this list. We have a 9.4 that went for $1,110. That's up 16%. What's really fun about this issue is that although Iron Man and Submariner, almost said Iron Fist because I got him on the mind, because both these characters are on the cover, they share it. They actually have their own story and they're separate. They don't cross over in this title. So yes, we have the ending of Tales to Astonish and Tales of Suspense. It bridges here with a standalone issue, but these characters have their own narratives. They're running parallel before they get branched off into their own solo titles. This is essentially an issue 0.
Number 6 on the list, Invincible number 1. The hottest IP this year, next year, the year after, and years prior.
I got to know your thoughts about this. Key Collector made a statement about this book that I think is probably pretty accurate, saying that Invincible 1 has officially joined the rankings of NYX number 3, First X-23, Batman Adventures 12, First Harley Quinn, Ultimate Fallout 4. We have the first Miles Morales. That is officially achieved blue chip modern level.
I mean, I think saying that isn't a reach. It obviously is. So, hashtag Captain Obvious there. But I do have to say, if I take everybody at their peak, like, Miles Morales at his peak, you take Harley Quinn at her peak, and now you take Invincible at his peak. Do you think Invincible is greater than all of those?
Let us know in the comment section, man, because that's a tough decision. I want to tell you a story.
Tough one.
During Canada, obviously, real quick, let me get the numbers out. A 9.6 sold for over $3,000. Hot damn. I was at Chris Rupp's wall. You guys got to go, if you're at a convention, and visit Chris Rupp's Comics. He's a great dude. He's a good friend of ours. And he does this thing, because I follow him on Facebook all the time, where at the end of a show, he sells his freaking table. He is one of those dealers that just always has such good stuff that whether it's his graphic novel section that's in his front or his wall, he'll do a deal on Sunday and it'll be gone. And I love seeing it. He's like, dude, another sellout every week. So at his booth in Canada, I was joking because I'm in Canada. I can't travel with his whole booth, but I'm like, yo, dude, how much for the wall? I'm surprised you still have it. This is Thursday, mind you. I'm just messing with him. And he goes, oh, well, I'll tell you, this side of the wall is going to be for sale, but not this side. So he points to 75% of his wall. Do you know what was on the other 25% that he said he was going to refuse to sell?
Miles Morales?
All Invincible.
What?
He's like, I'm not going to be looking for more Invincible. I need them at the future shows. And I find that just hilarious because We have said this multiple times on the mic that dealers need Invincible on the wall because that's what the customers are asking for.
A lot of customers are asking for it. This is going to be an attractor to people coming to your booth. You have it on the wall, they will stop and ask you about it.
Number 5 on the list is Fantastic Four 52, first appearance of the Black Panther. 9.2 went for 7,800. That's up 6%. I want to mention this 7.0 sale because it went for $1,300. That's up 20%. But check this out. Early August, a 7.0 went for $756. That is the cheapest a 7.0 has sold since 2018. That is a major low for such a strong blue chip Silver Age comic book. Now, Black Panther 7.0 is typically right where you see the price go from under $1,000 to over $1,000. A 6.5, you're looking around the $700 to $800 price. 7.0, it goes up from $1,000 right there. Like that's that breaking point. To see someone grab this for sub $800 in a 7.0 is a crazy deal. And it makes me want to kind of keep an eye on this book because we have heard rumors, multiple rumors, that Black Panther 3 is coming and that we're about at that time where they're going to recast the role as Black Panther and move the mantle from Shuri to who will probably carry us into the next era.
Number 4, Giant Size X-Men #1.
People love this book, dude.
Yeah, how do you not? I mean, the significance of this book is unparalleled almost in the Bronze Age for any other title. The 7.5, $2,700. That's up 14%. We saw 7 sales with a 12-month average this week alone for over $12,500.
We mentioned it before, but a 9.8 at the beginning of August sold for just shy of $22,000, and we hadn't seen this book hit in grade that low since 2020.
Look, that's a whole different type of collector when you start getting into that range. But we're seeing this book move in the 7.0, kind of down to the 4.5 range with pretty good percentage increases where we're talking like 2 to 7 to 8%. That's pretty significant in a week.
Seeing an uptick in multiple grades that are on the lower end tells me that there's a lot of new blood getting in the mix. You know, some entry-level investments being made. Speaking of new blood, sad day, dude. It got canceled. What the hell is Paramount doing? All right, looking at number 3 on the list, Incredible Hulk 181, 9.2, year high sale up 24% for $9,250. We don't have to get into it too much because everyone knows that it's one of the like fan favorite books from the Bronze Age, and Hugh Jackman is likely going to reprise this role till he can't anymore, and then they're just going to get AI to do it, and then we're going to be older than he is before they pass the mantle. Doesn't really matter. Laura Kinney, Daphne Keane, Canada Fan Expo, absolutely killing the game. We've been talking a lot about likability and how that gives me more confidence in the IPs because of how they're being maintained and handled by the actors and actresses who portray them. And Daphne Keane has taken pictures with people. She's not afraid to get like a couple inches away from them. Sometimes you see these celebrities and they're like on the other side of the freaking room and they're charging like hundreds of dollars. She ain't doing that. She is getting a little bit closer to her fans. She had her claws in pictures during Canada Fan Expo. The 2 probably biggest books of the show on the show floor were the John Tyler Christopher X-23 variants. There was the banana variant, you know, full yellow negative space. And then, you know, the non-yellow suit X-23. And she was doing signings. She was doing like really fun not remarks, but like speech bubbles and writing things on the cover, which a lot of these actors, they don't even really want to do. It's kind of hard to get them to even write their name legibly. So I just see her really going all out for her fans, really enjoying the fandom. And that's the kind of person I want to portray these big name characters.
You know, and that just sounds like just common sense, right? Like you would just think that if you're playing a role, especially one as great as a comic book character and the fandom that's behind that, we're not just talking about just some random character that has no history. We're talking about a character you're portraying to witness more like not being interested in being around those fans or into it can be really off-putting. And to see the reverse of that can be the complete opposite. It can be extremely exciting. It makes you love the character, makes you want to watch future films. So, man, not seeing that, I don't get it. It actually is gross to me when I see the opposite. So, like, please, I know everybody in Hollywood watches this show. Of course, like, please love the character, love the acting, freaking A, love your fans.
Well, number 2 on the list, I went to Canada Fan Expo 2 years ago, and I got to meet 3 really cool actors, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio and John Bernthal. And Charlie Cox was really nice. Did not want to take pictures, though. Vincent D'Onofrio wouldn't sign more than 1 book because he was too busy and didn't want to take any pictures. John Bernthal said, put as many things in front of me as you can, sign them all. You want to take a picture? No charge. And like did the whole, give me your phone, I'll take it for you, and just stand behind me. Because he was like on his way out. The likability factor for John Bernthal is off the chain. And we've been seeing that a lot, which is no surprise why at number 2, we have Amazing Spider-Man 129, first appearance of Punisher. Is it any surprise to you that we're reporting on $15,000 spent on this book above the recent 12-month average?
No, there is no surprise. How can there be when this book is on this list every single week? And like you said, likability. Okay, and just to quickly backtrack, I don't expect every person to take photos all the time. I get it. No, people get tired, or it's just an energy thing. It's just more just being open to and kind to fans. And this is what this man does, and it's the weirdest thing. I did not think this would be a good casting because of just the stature and size, and I'm used to like bigger or an idea. But once he gets into character, the transformation is amazing, and clearly it resonates in people, in fandom, and in the comic books.
9.2 sold for $3,446, up 19%. Join the Mystery Mail Call. 1 per box is a Canada Fan Expo variant that's going for more than the box costs itself. We saw prices hit $40, $45, and the Mystery Mail Call is $34.99. ComicTom.com, Black Cat #1 trade dress, John Boy freaking Myers, guaranteed in every single member's box, plus 3 to 4 other comic books. Back issues are in there, an exclusive print, and of course, you support independent comic book content creation. This show, all of our interviews, the podcast, which is officially back, and so much more. We appreciate all of our supporters. The #1 hottest book in the world, we kind of alluded to it earlier. It is indeed a premiere issue, and I dare say think it has nothing to do with any speculation long term. Maybe some optimism, sure, but when I see this book at #1, the only thing I think of is people think it's badass.
And it is. I mean, this is one of those core memories I have as a kid, because this was one of the books that I wanted the most in the late 80s. Yes, I'm that old. I just had my 30-year high school reunion, okay, at a comic shop called Golden Apple in Hollywood area. And it just screams at you when you see it on a wall, anywhere. And I see the appeal. I don't think it has to do with Robert Downey Jr.'s like Dr. Doom, like you just said.
What book is it, dude?
We haven't said it?
Iron Man #1, the freaking premiere issue.
I thought we said it.
We didn't say it,
God
dude.
damn it. We're
love
saying
so
it twice.
Much.
Iron Man #1.
9.4, 45.60, up 8%. I low-key thought you said that your high school reunion was at a comic shop for a second. Did any of you think that? I figured it out as we went. But, dude, the premiere issues, man, there is something to be said about these that I think a lot of maybe new collectors wouldn't anticipate. Because they're not first appearances, you know, but they kind of act like one. The covers are typically better than their time they first premiere.
Yeah, I mean, this comic cover is better than the Tales of Suspense 39, the first appearance of Iron Man. Okay, now, Submariner #1 is not better than the first appearance of Submariner, but for Iron Man, yes.
What do you say for first subby, by the way?
What do I
Motion
say?
picture funnies, or are you going?
Oh, you know what? If you're going to say motion picture funnies,
because
then
it's
you're
better
right.
than that, right?
Yeah, it's better than that. You know, but Marvel Comics #1,
Yeah.
I mean,
The best.
it's just the freaking, it's great.
It's probably better for the podcast, right?
Yeah. So let me just change it up.
I also
real
want to
quick.
talk about your high school reunion. That sounds
my
funny,
God.
dude.
I ran into a guy who I wrestled with. Okay, had no idea he's a huge comic book fan.
All right.
Huge.
Pause. Watch the podcast. We're going to get this out next week, but it's going to be a great show. And of course, as always,
Collect the old and gold and geek responsibly.
enough said. And that's the end of the video. We have a giveaway that we're going to be announcing next, let's say, trending video next week. Stake through the comic, cul-de-sac #1. Apparently under 40 of these were created. There's a literal stake through the book. Do you remember when I told you about the Key Collector, like, comic book that was created? Did you hear about this?
No.
So Key Collector teamed up with Bad Idea to make the first ever only released through the Key Collector app as a giveaway. We have a giveaway for that happening as well. And I'm like, what the hell is this? They wrote a comic book. It's only like 100 of them made. The comic book is the story of the creation of the Stake Through CGC comic.
Okay.
So we're going to find out what's going on with all this stuff.
So do we have an image for it of what it looks like?
Yeah, we'll put it on screen.
All right. I'm going to see the screen later.
And we'll see you very soon. We out.